I'm waiting for it to say it. Oh, there we go. I am live finally. Hey, good morning. It's Michelle with Michelle Fox Beauty, and I'm doing something so different for me today. Many things, actually. First of all, I'm doing my makeup in the morning because I'm not a morning person, and I'm usually doing it like at, I don't know, 1 o'clock. So I thought I'd take you with me. But I have added a few steps to my morning routine to help my makeup last longer, particularly in the heat and the humidity. But also, I've got a wedding coming up. So I thought I would explain these different steps that I'm adding. And just true confessions, I find myself doing my makeup less and less often, like as in number of days of the week. I don't know what's up with that because it's sort of like when I need it the most, I'm using it the least. But, when I do put my makeup on, I want it to last, you know what I mean? Like, I want it to look good since I've put the effort in. So, a couple things that are different for me, so help me out. I'm doing a vertical format, and I usually do, the horizontal format, so if I might go out of the frame. I'm not used to, doing this. I'm also going live on Facebook, which I've been shying away from because I've had lots of issues with it. Facebook has made some changes, but I'm like, let's just do this. So let me even look super quick and see if I even see myself anywhere. Oh, yep, there I am. Goody gumdrops. Okay. I don't know if I'll be able to see your comments from Facebook, but I know I can from YouTube. So when you join me, just say hi. It's just nice to know who's here. I see a little eyeball that tells me people are watching, but it's more fun when you tell me your name and where you're watching from, or if you get an idea from me or you want to share an idea, be my guest. So for starters, whoopsie daisy, I just hit my mic. I was thinking to myself, so I'll ask them to tell me if they're having problems with my audio or my video, but then I thought, but I don't know how to fix it. So what's the point, right? Okay, so for one thing, I have a slider where I can like improve my appearance. Love it. But I turned it off today because I want you to get a realistic view of what's all happening. So this is me, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I do have moisturizer on. If you don't put your moisturizer on before you do your makeup, you would be surprised at the difference it makes. So I would strongly encourage you to give that a try, and or even just for kicks, do it on half of your face and see the difference. But we're going to start out with my foundation primer. It's a Mary Kay foundation primer, and it has sunscreen. And honestly, I don't usually use this because I use finishing spray. And so in my mind, it was kind of like, well, one or the other. But I just keep hearing people say, like, oh, you want your foundation to last, you got to use the primer. So I believe them. So I'm doing it. And primers are usually like a really lightweight consistency. So it shouldn't add any heaviness to your face. The purpose of a primer is to provide a smooth canvas for you to build on. So it's actually going to minimize the appearance of your pores. It's going to give sort of a more flattering light reflection from your face, and it gives your foundation something to hold on to cling to. So I've been using it for, I don't know, a couple weeks now in preparation for my wedding, not my wedding, my daughter's wedding coming up, because I had a party for her a couple weeks back, and I was sweating like crazy because it was just really hot and humid. And the pictures, like, I feel like I just had sweated off all my makeup, and I'm like, I can't believe that happened to me. So I'm avoiding that. All right, so I did my foundation primer. Now I'm putting on my foundation, and here's a little tidbit. I've got so many juicy nuggets to share with you today. I can't wait. So I was always taught, people are either warm or cool undertone. And then fairly recently, I learned about a new category called neutral. And I realized that was me because I can really pull off either color. And I always had a really hard time finding my shade when I had to choose warm or cool. However, even more recently, I look so white right now, but it'll blend out. More recently, I've been learning about color theory, particularly from Dana Hammond. She's amazing. And learning that there are so many nuances that you can be neutral, but you can be neutral leaning toward cool or leaning toward warm. So here was my deal. So during most of the year, I use a neutral foundation. It's called N150. And in the summer, even though I wear sunblock, I get a little darker. So I was going up to the next darker neutral. and it looked terrible. Like it was not the right match at all. And I was really frustrated. I tried, so then I went, darker, lighter. I went all over the spectrum, but I was staying in the neutral category and I was not, I was not loving it. So, I really look pale, don't I? It'll fix. It does adjust. Foundation adjusts as it like kind of sets. It really does. It changes a little bit. And the light makes me look lighter. But anyway, back to my story. I ended up trying, just for kicks, a cooler undertone foundation that was deeper than my neutral foundation that I normally wear, and it was the match. And it is this, and it does look a little light in the bright light, but I'm telling you, it looks really good in real life. But I found that interesting, is that even though I finally concluded that I was a neutral undertone, that really the best foundation for me when I bumped up, like when I went a little deeper, was a cool undertone. And so the reason I share that is that a lot of people, I'm in Michigan, so we have like usually two foundation shades, like our summer shade and then the rest of the year shade. And so if you're struggling getting the right match, you may even need to try a different undertone. I mean, maybe I'm saying that all wrong, but that has been my experience. So I put foundation even on my eyelids because I don't think I used to have this, but they're getting freckles on them. So I'm just trying to just kind of get everything all nice and even here. Okay. So far the things that I've done differently are I added that foundation primer. I'm going to add a couple more things, but I want to put all my wet ingredients on first. So I use concealer after my foundation. There's all kinds of controversy about that. But foundation these days is very effective. And so sometimes you don't need concealer, or you don't need as much as you think. And so the days of putting the concealer on first and then the foundation, I think it's changing. So I usually put some under my eyes just to brighten that area. I don't have super dark circles, but a little bit. And then I like to go in my wrinkles too, because my concealer is a little bit lighter than my foundation. And basically a wrinkle is a shadow. It's a valley. So if you could put some light in that valley, it's going to look better. So I like to do that. So I got my main wrinkles are here and then here and here. So I'll put my concealer on. And so far, all of these products have been Mary Kay products. I have been using Mary Kay since I was 15 years old. No joke. And it's funny that in 2000, I decided to become a consultant with Mary Kay, and I enjoy that business very much. I do. I've broadened that to now where I'm a beauty influencer, and I do showcase other brands occasionally. But what's funny is once you start selling something and you recommend it to somebody, then they're like, oh, she's just trying to sell me something. But here's the irony of that. It's like, if I wasn't selling it, I would still be recommending it to you. So that recommendation shouldn't be any less valid. You know what I mean? But people just have such a negative feeling about direct sales, which is a shame, because there's a lot of really amazing direct sales products out there. All right. So foundation, concealer. Then I will take either like a translucent powder or a loose powder. Today, I'm actually using a mineral powder foundation to set it. My reason is this. I want a lot of coverage. And I've been reading that full coverage is out, that it's better to have like a sheer, let your, everything show through, but no, thank you. I like I said, if I'm going to do my makeup, I want it to look amazing and I want it to last all day. And I don't want you to see my age spots. I'm sorry. So I will put on the mineral powder foundation. It's just like another layer of foundation. It's going to set the foundation I already put down and take the shine off. And so this is sort of a makeup artist trick that I learned, and it works for me. But at this point, you could use a loose powder of some kind, or like a translucent powder. And there are lots of translucent powders on the market that claim, or that they do help your makeup last all day, especially in the heat and humidity. I'm trusting that my mineral powder is doing the same. One of these days I'll do an experiment, maybe after the wedding, because right now, like I said, I want the coverage and the long lasting, stuff. So at this point, I will do this, and it is to add some finishing spray. I normally do my finishing spray only at the very end, but like we're talking about today, this is about making it last in extreme circumstances. So when it's hot and humid, when you're in a wedding, when you're going to be, working long hours. So there are extra steps, extra layers that you can do to make that work. But it's up to you. So don't be overwhelmed. Don't think like, holy cow, she does this every single day. No, I don't. So for makeup spray, you go this way and across. So I just did this, and I'll go across. Then you do an X. And it seems like it wouldn't matter. Like it just kind of seems almost like a hoax, because it's just like you're spraying water on your face is what it feels like. But I don't know. I mean, it makes a huge difference. It's like how hairspray sets your style, your makeup spray, your finishing spray sets your face. It really does. So don't discount it. So let's see. I think I decided to do something a little bit different today. I normally do my brows, after I do my eyes, like my eyeshadow. But I've been noticing that as my brows continue to get thinner and thinner, and I can't really see them, I'm kind of messy with I'm looking for my brow pencil. Here we go. I'm kind of messy with my application. So after I apply it, I need to take some concealer and kind of outline my brows. And so I thought, so it would make sense then to do that now. Just trust me. So here's my strategy. So my brows are not a bad shape, thanks to my stylist, but they're very thin and patchy, and some are gray. So I really need to color them in, and you probably do too. So one strategy is just to underline underneath and then sort of do feathery strokes all over. But I find that mine are so undefined right now that I need to line underneath and above, but I don't do the whole thing. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Let's see if I can make it better. All right, here we go. So I will line under, but I don't do like this. Whoops. I don't do like this inner part. I start, maybe like, a third of the way in. I don't know, but I go underneath. And then at the end, I kind of, make it flip up a little bit. And then same thing, like I don't do this first little part right here, like that little rounded part. I don't mess with that. I start in a little bit, and then I line along the top, like where it used to be. And I don't usually go much farther than the arch. So on the underneath, I'll go all the way to the end, and I'll make a little flip. On top, I will just go like from here to no, wait, from here to here. Maybe when I do my other eye, it'll make more sense. Okay. But the thing is, I don't want it to look so precise. Some people can pull that off and it looks amazing. That ain't me. So then I'll come back and I'll just do like the short feathery strokes to try to mimic the pattern of my hair up in this area here. So we're just doing bam, 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 bam. And then I'll come in and kind of fill in where I had just lined it. So probably the hardest part for me to get to look natural is like the little flip at the end. Like that's something to kind of give your eyes some lift, but it doesn't do that naturally. So I don't know. I'm not super good at that. So there's that one. Maybe I'll just do the other one and not talk. Okay. No, that's impossible. It's impossible for me not to talk. Okay, here we go. Underlined this one. And then do this. Can you see me? Like that. And then I do this little front part. Boom, 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 boom. I have to make sound effects too. And fill this in. So something that I learned, and then do this one, flip it a little bit, is that I used to go through my eyebrow pencil like gangbusters. And then somebody, I don't remember who it was, that clarified to me that you're not like coloring it in. You're just kind of doing like these feathery strokes. And so I was thinking it's the difference between when you take a crayon and you're like pressing really hard and you get like a lot of wax deposited, and it's like that really opaque color versus when you lightly shade it in. And so I've been reminding myself to lightly shade things. And this is where I kind of go up. So I've got some concealer on a cream eyeshadow brush. And if I've got like any stuff where I don't want it, I kind of correct it. This is a new step for me. But so I'm still perfecting it. And I don't know if this is the right time to do it. So correct me. You can tell me. We are all learning, right? Something that I've been doing that's new, maybe I'll do that right now. I think I will. So the eye primer that I used to use has been discontinued. I was horrified. And eye primer, just like the foundation primer, you put that on, and to me, it's a crime not to prime, because if I'm going to do my eyes, I want it to last. And so your primer keeps it from creasing and fading, makes it blend better, gives you more color payoff, and it just makes the color last all day. So it's something that I must use. And so I started to try this MAC Prep and Prime, but here's what I noticed. If I put it on with my finger and I get any of it underneath, that underneath area looks weird. Like it looks really dry and weird, and it's almost impossible to get it off. So I have started to apply it with a cream eye color brush so I can be really, really precise with it. And you just use a very small amount, but I put it on all over, like from lashes to brow. So also you want to give it a little bit of time to set, to dry, but I do like it. I was going to try Urban Decay. I've heard really good things about that. And the person that was helping me at Ulta said that the drawback with Urban Decay is that it's got a wand on it, so that if you've got, like an eye infection or anything like that, they're putting that back in the tube. And I thought, that's gross. So I tried this. All right, do this on the other eye. It's a little thicker than what I've used before. So there was a little bit of a learning curve, but that might just be me. um And some eye primers have color. And so, like how I said, I was trying to cover my freckles on my eyes. That's what I call them, freckles, not age spots. Some eye primers have color, and so that will help you cover that as well. You can also use a cream eyeshadow. A lot of people use their concealer. I'm just, in my head, I just feel like I need to use a proper primer. That's what I'm used to. So that's what I found, especially with the wedding coming up. Okay. That part's all done. I think we're good. We're good to move on. I used to always do my cheeks before my eyes. Lately, I've been doing my eyes, but sometimes I forget to put my cheeks on. So I'll like be looking at myself in the mirror, like, what's wrong? What am I missing? And it is that. So remind me if I forget, okay? So this is a good example of how I'm kind of neutral. So this is real orangey, but I can pull it off because I've got a little bit of color. Normally I would look significantly better in a pink, like a fuchsia top or a berry top, but I just like this color in the summertime. So, and I am very matchy. So since this is like a warm top, I'm probably going to use, warm-ish to neutral eye colors. So I'm going to start with a matte, sort of a vanilla color. It's called Biscotti, Mary Kay. And I go underneath my brow and I do my whole lid. I'm going to not so much bring it all the way to the outer corner because I want to start using more of my dark color there. I'm just kind of learning that as my eyes droop, that I don't want to draw attention to that. And so light, bright colors draw attention. Okay. They like, spotlight it, highlight it. So the stuff you don't want showing, you don't put this here. So I want to emphasize the shape of my brow that I just put together. And I want to emphasize my lid because my hooded eyes hide my lid. So I want to do whatever I can to counteract that. But like I said, I'm kind of staying in this area rather than over here. All right. Wherever you set down your brush initially is where you're going to have the biggest deposit of color. So if you kind of want like that gradient effect, what's that called in here? Balayage or whatever, you know, be on purpose. So you want to set I want it to be darker here and get lighter, 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 lighter as it goes out that way. Okay. So here we go on the other side. You know what's funny too is I can see my random brow hairs after I put my eyeshadow on. Like I'll think that I had, adequately plucked. Then I put this on. I'm like, oh no, there they are. But oh well. I dread the day when I can't see to pluck my own face. I don't know who's going to be in charge of that. Any volunteers? Oh my gosh. Getting older is not easy. My dad used to say, but it beats the alternative. All right. And I tend to pat it on because I like my light color to show up. And so rather than brushing it, sort of the opposite of what we just chatted about with brows, I want this to be a heavy application. And so I'm patting it on. The next step, you'll see me do something much different. So for my mid-tone, and I do this, I mix it up all the time, but this is how I'm doing it today. For my mid-tone, I like to take a long tapered brush and just be pretty casual and just do it in the center, like in the crease. I kind of let it go where it's going to go. And then I make corrections with my darker color, my third step. So I'm just loading up my brush, tapping off the excess, and then I'm just going in here and just like a windshield wiper, I'm going to do this. All right. There are all kinds of different techniques that you can use, especially if your eyes are as hooded as mine. But lately I've just been doing this and I just feel like it saves time and this is good enough. I like to tap off the brush. Really the same principle that if it, if there's a lot on here, like wherever you set it down, there's going to be that big concentration. And for this, I just want like a wash. I want it to be a sheer wash of color. So that's so easy. It's just like windshield wiper type motion in the center-ish, okay? So this eye is droopier than this eye. So sometimes if at this point it's like, really radical, then I might even kind of feather this down a little bit because my good eye that is showing a lot, I can affect that. Like I can bring the darker color down to like, so that it doesn't show so much. I can do that. But on my bad eye, I can't make it bigger. You know what I mean? So I have to adjust my good eye rather than, worrying about my bad eye. Does that make sense? Not really. All right. I know this is running. Hold on. There we go. Okay. And then this technique I used to use forever ago. It's so easy. Watch and learn. So this is just kind of a smallish eyeshadow brush, nondescript, not a big deal. But I take my darkest color and get that on there, tap it off. And then I'm kind of using the shape of the brush to create this outer area. So, if you look at this brush, if you tilt it a little bit, you can get that little outer V that you always hear people talking about. So I just look at it really well. And so however I set it down, like that's my outer V. You get me? And so, like I said, wherever you lay it down the first time, that's where you're going to have the biggest concentration of color. So I just put that puppy right there. And I got to remember to not go, let's see, go this way. All right, so it's there. And then here's where I'm going to start working it to make my eye get a little bit of lift. So I look with my eye open and I'm bringing it along my brow bone in, sort of like that same path that I did the windshield wiper, but a little higher. And then I'm coming back where I started and I'm bringing it down. And I'm covering up this area here where I said I am learning not to let that be so light, that I need some dark over here. Dark does the opposite, where it, instead of highlighting it, it pushes it back. So it can be very effective. I know that dark eyeshadow can be kind of intimidating, But when you have a strategy, it helps. You know, if you know, okay, I'm putting the dark here because it's going to help push this hood back. And here's the other thing. It's just makeup. You know what I mean? So try it. And if it doesn't work, you wash it off. It's not the end of the world. Just practice. Practice on like a Saturday afternoon or something. Okay. So let me see what I look like here. Yeah. So I will blend out that edge so it's not quite so harsh, but I'd rather start precise and blend than, not have that precise look. I don't know. I'm very exact. All right. So same concept. I'm going to lay it down in that outer V type shape. Okay. So I kind of look at it and see, all right, where do I want to go? And it's a little higher than where, like, if you follow my brow bone, like it comes down really low. So I'm not going there. It's going to emphasize how low it is. I'm going to bring it up a bit. So like this-ish. All right. And then, like, I'm not dipping back in or anything. I'm just going to use the same technique where I'm bringing it toward the center of my face, along my brow bone, a little higher than I did the other, and I did the mid-tone. And then come here and bring it down toward my lashes this way, covering this little outer corner here. So that's just 3 colors. So the first one I said was like a matte vanilla. It's called Biscotti. The middle one was a matte, brown. It's kind of a neutral brown called Hazelnut. And then this one is Cinnabar. Again, it's matte, deep brown. All right. This mirror is fantastic, by the way. I'll put a link to it in the description of the video, but it's not lit up, but it's crystal clear, and it's got like the magnified side and then the regular side. And so I'm constantly flipping back and forth because I can't see very well. And it makes a difference. All right. So one seems darker than the other, doesn't it? This seems darker than this. So that's, our eyes are not identical. Our brows are not identical. And so, we can't, instead of trying to make everything look exactly the same, concern yourself more with having it like the same height. Okay. So like if I had this dark color low and this one high, it's going to make my face look super weird. But my eyes are different. There's really not a whole lot I can do about that. So you want to check for like the intensity. Is the intensity the same on both sides? Is the application approximately the same? Those kinds of things. And then you say close enough, right? All right. Why does that seem so dark? This happens a lot because I might have like more light on one side of the room than the other, but all right, we can't worry about this forever. Okay, putting this away. I forgot to get out my skinny brush. Hold on. I like to kind of take a 4th color, not always, sometimes, and go in and line my lashes with that. And I'm going to do that. So what color is this? What is this color? I'm trying to think. I think this one it's not espresso. So what the heck is it? Mahogany. That's what it is. All right. I'm going to line underneath. My lashes underneath are almost non-existent. And I try going without anything on the bottom because it can give you a nice lifted look to only work on the top to line and do your mascara on top. But when I wear my glasses, sometimes you can't see the top. And so if I don't have anything under there, I just feel like it looks kind of, just like it's not enough. I see a comment, but I don't have my glasses on. So I will respond in a second. All right. So I dipped into that darker eyeshadow with a really skinny brush, and I'm just going to line underneath my eye. I'm going to use an actual eyeliner on top. I'm doing this now, and you'll see why in a second. because then I also kind of bring it up to sort of line like where my darkest color ended. I just do, all right, so I don't feel like I'm explaining this. So I go under here. Then I use the same brush to sort of outline this outer area. And then from that line, like think of it as a wall, from there, I kind of flick it in again to kind of make that gradation um, more more evident. So I'm just starting here and I'm just kind of like feathering it in a bit. So it doesn't really add a lot of color, just a little bit, but it just kind of helps everything mesh. And something you can do is like dip it into your powder eyeshadow and then spray your brush with your finishing spray to give it more of a wet, more intense look. But I'm okay with it looking, a little smudge. And I do this and then bring this in. Oh, my phone's ringing. I'm like, nobody ever calls me. Good thing I have it on silent. Oh, that's funny. All right, so that. But I am excited to show you my little trick for my lids. Okay, so I started using a waterproof eyeliner. It's just a traditional liner. It's not a pencil like that you sharpen, but it's the kind that winds up. So I guess it's called mechanical. But what I like to do, pause. I love when people tightline their eyes. I think that looks so pretty. There's just something about it that really defines your eyes and is very youthful and wonderful. Every darn time I try that, I just make a mess. So I'm sticking with what I know. And that is I start out and I come toward the center of my eye, the center of my lashes. And all right, I think if I just do it, you'll see what I'm talking about. I start out, but I'm not starting like where my lashes are. I'm up a little ways so that I'm basically drawing a straight line to the middle of my lashes. So let's see. Hopefully you can see this. And hopefully it works. All right. So like I came up a little higher, went straight across. And so there's a little bare spot in the back, this back end, but I fill that in. So yes, that is going to look like a cat eye. So it looks pretty extreme at first, but we're still working on it. And the reason I do this is because it gives my eye a lot of lift. And when I get my mascara on and get everything blended, it makes a big difference. Now, if I just, let's do this. All right. Let me see. I'll show you the difference. Hold on. I might regret this. So if I just line like by my lashes and don't use that little lift trick, it just kind of brings your eye down. It like makes my lid look even droopier. So that's why I choose to come up a bit. So it kind of looks like a triangle laying on its side. I can't talk and do this. Okay. And one thing that's really nice because my hands shake. I'm a hot mess. Like my hands shake. I got arthritis, you name it. I can't see. But so if I put this on and it's not as precise as I wish it was, I can fix it. Okay. So I think, let's see. Yeah, I think that's where I want it to be. And the reason I don't go any farther than the middle is because same concept. If I kept following that path and I ended way down here, it's just going to make my eye look droopy and we don't want that. But what I'm going to do, even though it's waterproof, I'm going to use my skinny brush again, and I'm going to use that really dark brown color. My liner is black, but it doesn't matter. and I'm going to kind of go over it and just smooth the edges. So like any place where like the edge isn't crisp and it's kind of bumpy, I'm just going to smooth it and it will make a difference. And it does set it. So prior to this waterproof eyeliner, I used a similar liner, but it just wasn't waterproof. So I would use this, I would have this step to set it so it didn't, smudge or move. But so I don't really think that the waterproof is going to smudge. So I don't think it's that you have to do this step, but I do it just to even it out. Does that make sense? I don't know. And then I might even kind of come down a little bit just to, again, just kind of blending or helping all this to merge together. All right, let me do the other one real quick. And the rest of it's going to go a lot faster. I promise. Eyes are always, a little more time consuming. And of course, I'm explaining as I go. So there's that. I am a big fan of false eyelashes. I just love how they look, especially on camera and in my videos and stuff. But sometimes they irritate my eyes. They do take some time to apply and everything. So I've been relying more and more on dramatic mascara to get that look. And like I said, I've got this wedding coming up, so I've been trying all different things, different combinations, different kinds of lashes. And I have concluded, where the heck is it? That if you have the right mascara, it can really look as good as your false lashes. Like it is pretty amazing. So this one is, let's see, Lash Love Fanorama. And I've been using it and I really think it looks pretty darn close to like a false lash. So you start at the root, the base of your lash, and you wiggle it to get, to make sure that you're grabbing each lash. And this has different zones. So I'll show you in a second. So this is my first pass. It has like these bristles on the tip so that I can use these bristles to like get the thinner, like the finer lashes on the edge and in this inside. And then it also serves as the fan, thus the Fanorama. So you can kind of go through and separate your lashes, because that's something that when you use a lash or a mascara formula that's real thick, sometimes it can, clump them together. So this is helping them separate. Now I'm going to use the same thing and I'm going to use it to apply to my lower lashes. This part's a little tricky, so I might need to be quiet. Okay. Like I'm telling you, they're so thin, they're invisible. So I do this by feel rather than see. So I just kind of get up in there. And then I can see them. Okay, then I might put a little more using it horizontally because now I can see where they are. But even this, it's extremely rare that I do this and don't have mascara mistakes, so we'll deal with that too. All right. And then you turn it, and then there are different length bristles. And so now I'm just going to turn it a bit to access the other lengths and go through this again. So I haven't dipped back in yet, but I will. All right. And let's see, here we go. You don't want to like pump the mascara. I don't know why people do that. I really don't. But you're like forcing air in there. So like you go in, you kind of swoosh it around a bit so that you're, getting it on there. Then you pull it out. And then if you have too much, you wipe off the excess. All right. No, none of this needed. And don't ever like put water or anything weird like that in your mascara ever, 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 because that's just a bacteria pool. All right. So now I'm just doing another coat. I could wait and do this eye and then come back, but I don't know. I'm just funny. I like to get everything done on one side. And another little tidbit is that sometimes when you layer your mascara, like, you put a couple, 2, 3 coats on there, it can get kind of clumpy and funky. And so what I typically do when I really want, to have a wow factor is I'll first use a thinner formula, like something that's just a real simple, basic lengthening formula. Let that dry. Then I'll use something that's a little more dramatic on top of that. And then I actually have a third mascara that deposits fibers. And if I, like I say, if I really want the wow factor, then I'll go in and use that one. But I know that seems a bit excessive. So anyway, I should probably see what this comment is. Hold on. Oh, hey, Sharon. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Oh, one is up, one is down. Oh yeah, I know, I know. And it gets weirder as we get older. I know. And hi, Heather. I saw you there too. So, all right. So I'll try to be quicker this time. And the reason we open our mouth, it happens for a reason. Okay. Oh yeah, it relaxes your eye. So when people make fun of that, I'm like, you don't understand that it serves a purpose. So that is why we do that. Oh, you know what? I didn't blend, but I will. Like I didn't blend my dark outside area, but I will. I'll show you. I have special brushes just for that. All right. Wiggle. It's funny how there are just some things I can't talk through. All right, hold on. Outside, inside. Part of the reason why I love false lashes is because this does take me a while for so many reasons. Reasons I've already expressed. Okay, here we go. But when you do have a mascara mistake, okay, this is a gem, all right? That I used to right away grab a Q-tip or something and start wiping, and the mascara is still wet, so then it smears and you get like that thin little smear, and that ain't helping. But what I learned from another beauty consultant is that if you just chill out, let that dry completely, it goes from a liquid to a solid, and then when you take that Q-tip, you can just flick off that mascara mistake, and it works like a charm. So make sure you try that the next time. Okay. And do a little tiny bit more. Teeny tiny bit. My kids used to say that. I have the cutest kids. They're all grown up now. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. So you see what I'm saying? I mean, it looks pretty good. Now that like there are so many natural false lashes that I'm like this looks even better than the natural false lashes I was trying. But let's do a little blending. So I have like my biggest eye brush. I keep it clean and I use it just to kind of blend this inner area where I've used all the light colors. And I don't go all the way across. There's a fine line between blending and wiping it off. So you just want to just blend this inner area just a bit. And you can take a tiny brush and put like a bright, shimmery, color in your tear duct. I don't usually do that. I don't know. I have a hard time getting that to look just right. So I don't usually do it. But my oldest daughter does that and it always looks really cool. All right. And then I have another one that's just a little bit smaller than this that I keep specifically to like smooth out this outer edge right here. And same thing, I don't go in and go crazy because I don't want to take off what I just laid down. I just want that outer edge not to be so precise that it looks harsh and weird. Okay. So I'm just kind of sort of massaging that outer edge just a tad. And then this one where I feel like I have more color on this than the other one, I'll probably go up a little farther. So I'm doing the edge, and then I might brush off a little of that excess. All righty. Looks pretty good. 'Cause I don't have my glasses on. All right. True story. Whenever I do these, I think, oh, dang, that looks so good. And then I'll watch I'll watch it later and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed because I can't see. But what are you going to do? All right. And I didn't bring any Q-tips. Oh, wait. I've got ones here. Hold that thought. There we go. So now I can go, like I've got some mascara kind of smudged right here. So I just go in there and just flick it off. Even if you have it like on your eyeshadow, you can just flick it off. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little trick. Okay. All right, we're bringing this baby home and I'm remembering to do my cheeks. I can never find a blush that is just right. So I like have a whole bunch of different colors and I just kind of dip in each one. It's just something I've always done. So I go, boom, boom, boom in the light one, then I go one boom in the darker one, tap it off. And all right, I like to go a little bit high and outside. I think of baseball. All right. So you can feel your cheekbone. And, every few years, the advice about applying blush changes. But this, especially as we age, I think does the job. All right. You want to start high and you want to keep it more toward the outside, again, to give you some lift. So I don't have a lot of space between like my cheekbone and my nose. So I also, make sure that I'm not getting too close to my nose because then it just makes it look even weirder. So I'm starting like here-ish, and then I'll just bring it along my cheekbone out here. Okay. And what is super frustrating for me is that I will get this so that it looks so nice and natural in real life. And then it kind of fades, or throughout the day. But if I put it on really dark, then I feel like I look, yucky. So I don't really know. Because when you watch a makeup artist do it, it's like they just barely put any on, and yet the model looks amazing. So what is that about? I don't know. If anybody knows, help me understand. Because I feel like I either look like I have on too much or not enough. Like it's like that perfect model look where I'm like, how? I don't know how they do that. So I just tell myself that it's a filter. Makes me feel better. And, sometimes I'll do contour and highlight and all that stuff. And I do this around here because my face is so square. So I just kind of, soften these edges and then my jowls, yuck. Try to get rid of that a little bit. Same concept as the darker color. So I'm putting some color to kind of push it back here and then maybe here. I just tell myself that makes it better. But sculpting your face with contour and highlight, that's a whole other topic. I don't always do it. It is real, it does help and it's pretty cool, but I don't feel like doing it today. Okay, so I haven't done my lips yet, but I am going to take this opportunity to do my finishing spray again. So some of the things that we've added to make it last through like hot, humidity, long events, all that. We did the foundation primer. We did I did a mineral powder foundation on top of my foundation, but you can also use a translucent powder or a loose powder. Then I sprayed with the finishing spray before I did my color cosmetics. Now my color cosmetics are done and I'm going to use the finishing spray one more time. Okay. Okay. And the way I know that this works is that when I worked outside the home, you do your makeup, you know what you look like. Then you go, you work all day, come home, look at yourself in the mirror. And I saw the difference. I saw that when I didn't use the finishing spray, that by the end of the day, my makeup had faded significantly. And when I did use it, my makeup still looked like on point. So it really does make a difference. This is something that I don't always do, but I think it's important, and it's super important when I do stuff on camera. Because I all my life I've just like put my lipstick on from the tube, lickety split. But I guess my lips are getting uneven or something, because when I do that, when I'm doing a video and then I watch it, I'm like I'll have like some way up here. I'm like, what the heck? What is happening? So if your lips are funky like mine, if they're changing shape, if they are, you're losing your definition, lip liner is your friend. And if you've never used it before, it's really not that hard to use. You can do, different schools of thought. One is you can kind of match your lipstick, or you can match your skin tone. So when you match your skin tone, it's really foolproof, because it's not gonna, this doesn't really hurt. Not gonna hurt. So first you outline the V, and that it's called the Cupid's bow. And then you do short strokes, like rather than trying to just connect the dots, that's where you can go off track. So just do short, feathery strokes. Take your time. But when it's, a similar color to your lips, it's, even if you make a little mistake, it's not going to be so bad. Keep your lips loose. And you don't have to go like in this wet corner part. All right. And then you want to do like a little line, a little horizontal line in the middle. On the bottom. Same thing. All right. I do have a couple things to say, but hold on. So the whole thing about if you want to make your lips look bigger, to go outside your lips, and if you want them to look smaller, go inside your lips and all that, that is true, but you have to be so careful. Like it has to be right on the border. So there you can line your lips so that this is like literally where the seam of your lip meets your skin. And if you want to go outside of it, it has to be like where it's still touching that seam, but it's also touching your skin. Or if you want to go on the inside where it's still touching that seam, but it's on your lips. But if you go out to the degree where you can actually see skin, that does that never looks good. That never looks good. And so this is a color that I don't usually wear. It's a coral. I think it's called confetti coral. But again, because I have on a warm shirt, I thought, let's do that. It's the matchy part of me. This is a hydrating lipstick. It's a really nice lipstick. Like when it first came out, I was like, I don't know, because I'm used to cream lipsticks and I love them. And that's how what I've used forever and ever and ever. And these are, they're like a really soft consistency. And it's sort of like a combination of a gloss and a lipstick, but I've learned to love them because it just has such a youthful, okay, hold on. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Okay. Because it's hydrated, it has like a little bit of shine. It actually is conditioning your lips. It has a very youthful look because it kind of has that lip gloss look to it. Especially for summer. It's just really fun. I've got every single shade. Okay, why does this look not blended? Hold on. And then to blend like your liner to your lipstick, you can use a little brush, but hold on. Yeah, I like that a lot. So, all right. So I think that's it. I think that's that. All right, take this off. My hair. Maybe I shouldn't have taken it off. Let's see. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I still look kind of pale, but I think it has more to do with my enormous light right here because in real life, I look real good. All right. So let me look at my questions really quick and see what's happening. All right. Love the subtle shine fade on your lids. Will it work on your eyes with dark bronze? It will. You'll probably just use different shades, just use something with a little more intensity. But yeah, I'm sure it can. So, all right. So thanks. And as you watch the replay, give me a hashtag replay. You can continue to ask questions, leave comments, make suggestions. I always like to say that in no way, shape, or form am I the only one that knows makeup tips. Okay. So we can all help each other learn and be better. So, so this was super fun for me. And like I said, I'm still getting used to sunring myself in this skinny one. My hair looks so thin, doesn't it? It depends. I have a lot of tricks to make it look thicker. I actually just got it colored, so it shouldn't look this bad. But, that bright light doesn't help. But, yeah, I tease it a little bit. I have like some powder color. I have spray color. I've got so many things going on. I'll have to do that in a different video. All right. Enough from me. Thanks so much for watching. And if you're catching me on Facebook, I hope that you are following my page so we can stay in touch. And if you are on YouTube, if you will give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, share it with a friend, and be sure to subscribe to Michelle Fox Beauty. So thanks so much, everybody. I got to find my clicker. And I think we will call it a day, right? I'm so excited. 11:12, and I have my makeup done. It's like a miracle. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful